Milarepa's transformation from a practitioner of black magic to one of the most revered saints in Tibetan Buddhism is more than just a captivating tale from history. It is a profound testament to the limitless potential for human transformation. His journey vividly demonstrates the core principles of Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, including the immutable law of karma, the necessity of purification, and the boundless possibility of spiritual redemption. It is a story that continues to inspire and challenge us to reflect on our own lives, encouraging us to embrace the path of wisdom, compassion, and enlightenment. At the heart of Milarepa's story is the principle of karma, the law of cause and effect that governs the consequences of our actions. Milarepa's early life, marked by vengeance and the destructive use of black magic, generated immense negative karma. Yet his story is not one of despair, but of redemption, showing us that no matter how heavy our karmic burdens may seem, the potential for purification and transformation is always within reach. And this journey reminds us that the choices we make today can reshape our destiny, aligning us with the path to liberation. The process of purification, central to Milarepa's transformation, illustrates the profound power of sincere effort and guidance. Under the tutelage of his guru, Marpa, Milarepa endured intense trials designed to cleanse his karma and prepare him for the spiritual journey ahead. These challenges were not acts of cruelty, but expressions of profound compassion, demonstrating the role of the teacher as a mirror to our inner obstacles and a guide towards self-realization. For modern practitioners, this serves as a powerful reminder that spiritual growth often requires us to confront our deepest fears and attachments, transforming them into stepping stones on the path to awakening. Milarepa's ultimate realization of enlightenment underscores the potential for spiritual redemption that lies within all of us. His solitary meditations in the Himalayan caves, where he faced not only the harshness of the natural world but also the turbulence of his own mind, became the crucible for his transformation. Through unwavering discipline and profound insight, Milarepa transcended the limitations of ego and ignorance, attaining a state of liberation that has inspired countless generations. His journey affirms the Buddhist teaching that enlightenment is not an abstract ideal, but a tangible possibility for anyone willing to walk the path with sincerity and commitment. Milarepa's teachings, preserved in the poetic 100,000 Songs of Milarepa, continue to resonate deeply with practitioners across the world. These songs are not mere verses, they are living teachings that blend profound philosophical insights with practical guidance for the spiritual journey. Their lyrical beauty and accessibility ensure that Milarepa's wisdom remains relevant and impactful, offering timeless lessons on impermanence, compassion, and the nature of reality. His ability to transform complex teachings into relatable expressions of the human experience is a gift that transcends time and culture. In a modern world that often prioritizes comfort, material success, and immediate gratification, Milarepa's story invites us to reflect on the deeper purpose of our lives. It challenges us to embrace discomfort as an opportunity for growth, to seek wisdom in the face of adversity, and to dedicate our efforts to the welfare of all beings. His transformation reminds us that no matter where we begin, we have the potential to achieve profound spiritual realization, turning even our greatest mistakes into the foundation for our awakening. If Milarepa's story has touched your heart or sparked curiosity about the deeper aspects of life, we invite you to take the next step. Subscribe to our channel to uncover more teachings and stories that inspire and guide us on the spiritual path. Share this video with your friends and loved ones so that together we can spread the timeless wisdom of Milarepa's journey. Let's create a community that learns, grows, and walks this path of transformation together. Your journey toward wisdom and compassion starts here. Join us and let's make Milarepa's legacy a living inspiration for all. Milarepa's early life and the role of karma. Milarepa's life begins in tragedy and despair, a stark reflection of human vulnerability to suffering and the profound impact of karma. Born into a wealthy family in Tibet, Milarepa's early years were filled with comfort and privilege. However, this fortune was short-lived. Following the untimely death of his father, his family was thrust into poverty due to the betrayal of his greedy uncle and aunt. They seized his family's wealth, leaving Milarepa, his mother, and his sister destitute. This betrayal, coupled with the social injustices they endured, created a deep reservoir of pain and anger in young Milarepa. His mother, consumed by grief and resentment, fueled his growing bitterness, urging him to seek revenge. This devastating turn of events marked the beginning of Milarepa's descent into a path of darkness, symbolizing the powerful influence of karma in shaping human destiny. In Tibetan Buddhism, karma is the principle of cause and effect, which governs the outcomes of actions based on their underlying intentions. Actions driven by greed, hatred, or ignorance generate negative karma, leading to suffering not only in this life, but also in future lifetimes. So when I say, for Milarepa, his mother's demands for vengeance became the catalyst for his involvement in the practice of black magic, an act that would define the early stages of his spiritual journey. Milarepa's engagement in black magic was born from a potent mixture of sorrow, hatred, and a longing for retribution. Consumed by the desire to punish those who had wronged his family, he sought the guidance of a sorcerer to learn the dark arts. His newfound abilities enabled him to unleash destruction upon his enemies, killing many and wreaking havoc on their lives. While these acts momentarily satisfied his thirst for revenge, they also brought devastating consequences. It started the elaborate ritual of the 1001 Nights with the help of his brothers and mage's stick to conduct. According to Buddhist teachings, actions driven by negative emotions like anger and hatred sow seeds of suffering both for the perpetrator and others. Milarepa's actions resulted in immense negative karma, further entangling him in samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The practice of black magic in Milarepa's early life exemplifies the destructive power of unskillful actions. Motivated by vengeance, he inflicted suffering on others without considering the long-term repercussions. In doing so, he not only perpetuated the cycle of harm, but also solidified his own suffering. Tibetan Buddhism emphasizes that actions driven by negative intentions are like planting poisoned seeds. While they may bear fruit in the short term, they ultimately yield pain and destruction. Milarepa's use of black magic illustrates this principle vividly, as the consequences of his actions weighed heavily on his soul and required extensive purification. Milarepa's story during this phase of his life is not merely a tale of personal misfortune and misguided choices. It serves as a profound lesson about the nature of samsara and the role of karma in perpetuating cycles of suffering. Samsara, in Buddhist philosophy, represents the state of existence characterized by perpetual dissatisfaction and suffering. It is fueled by ignorance, negative emotions, and unskillful actions. Milarepa's descent into black magic demonstrates how easily one can become trapped in samsara when guided by destructive impulses. His actions, rather than bringing true relief or justice, only deepened his entanglement in this cycle, highlighting the futility of vengeance as a means of resolving suffering. This period of Milarepa's life also sheds light on the transformative potential of suffering when paired with self-awareness and spiritual aspiration. While his early actions brought immense karmic consequences, they also laid the foundation for his eventual redemption. The suffering he caused and experienced became a mirror reflecting the futility of his choices and the need for a profound change. This realization would later propel him toward the path of spiritual purification and enlightenment as he sought to atone for his past deeds. In a broader sense, Milarepa's early life is a powerful allegory for the human condition. It reminds us that pain and injustice, though deeply challenging, do not have to lead to destructive actions. Instead, they can serve as catalysts for introspection and transformation. His life underscores the Buddhist teaching that while karma shapes our experiences, we have the power to choose our responses. Breaking free from the cycles of samsara through mindful and compassionate actions. Milarepa's journey from tragedy to transformation illustrates the profound depth of Buddhist philosophy, particularly the intricate interplay of karma, intention, and spiritual growth. His early life stands as a cautionary tale about the dangers of anger and hatred, but also as an inspiring example of the human capacity for redemption. Through his eventual spiritual awakening, Milarepa would transcend the karmic chains of his past, offering hope and guidance to countless seekers on the path to liberation. The turning point, guilt and seeking redemption. Milarepa's guilt became the catalyst for his profound transformation, a pivotal moment that marked the beginning of his spiritual awakening. This guilt was not merely a fleeting sense of regret, but a profound internal reckoning with the weight of his past actions. In the context of Buddhist philosophy, this experience aligns with the concept of samvega, a deep existential disillusionment with the consequences of unskillful actions and the transient nature of worldly pursuits. Samvega, as described in Buddhist teachings, is a powerful emotional state that transcends despair. Unlike despair, which immobilizes and traps one in suffering, Samvega is a wake-up call, urging the individual to take decisive steps towards spiritual liberation. For Milarepa, the weight of his karmic actions, particularly the destruction and harm caused through black magic, became unbearable. His awareness of the suffering he inflicted on others and the karmic consequences awaiting him ignited an intense longing for redemption. This longing was not rooted in fear of punishment, but in a heartfelt recognition of the moral and spiritual responsibility he carried. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that acknowledging one's own suffering, as well as the suffering caused to others, is the essential first step on the path to liberation. Milarepa's deep remorse reflects this principle as he began to understand the interconnected nature of his actions and their consequences within the karmic cycle. This turning point in Milarepa's life resonates deeply with the Tibetan Buddhist emphasis on personal accountability and the potential for transformation. Recognizing his karmic burden, Milarepa sought not to escape his past, but to confront it directly. This decision required immense courage and humility as he turned away from the destructive path of vengeance and toward the arduous journey of spiritual purification. Seeking guidance from a realized teacher, he demonstrated a readiness to accept the discipline and challenges necessary to purify his karma and attain liberation. Milarepa's choice to seek out the great Tantric master, Marpa, was a testament to his sincere desire for redemption. Tibetan Buddhism holds that genuine transformation begins with the willingness to place oneself under the guidance of an authentic spiritual teacher. Marpa, known for his wisdom and uncompromising methods, became the ideal mentor for Milarepa's spiritual journey. Their relationship exemplifies the guru-disciple dynamic central to Vajrayana Buddhism, where the guru provides both teachings and transformative practices tailored to the disciple's unique karmic circumstances. By seeking Marpa, Milarepa not only acknowledged his need for external guidance, but also demonstrated an inner readiness to endure whatever hardships were necessary to cleanse his karma and realize enlightenment. This pivotal moment in Milarepa's story underscores the Tibetan Buddhist teaching that suffering, when recognized and embraced with mindfulness, can become a gateway to liberation. His guilt and samvega did not lead him to despair or self-destruction, but instead inspired a profound commitment to spiritual growth. Milarepa's path from guilt to redemption serves as a reminder that even the heaviest karmic burdens can be transformed through sincere effort, humility, and devotion to the Dharma. His journey exemplifies the Buddhist belief in the potential for every being, regardless of their past, to attain enlightenment. Through his actions, Milarepa transformed his guilt into the fuel for his spiritual practice, ultimately transcending the cycles of samsara and inspiring countless others on the path to liberation. Marpa's role: the teacher as a catalyst for transformation. Marpa, a tantric master and lineage holder in the Kagyu tradition, played a central and transformative role in Milarepa's spiritual journey. His methods, though unconventional and often severe, were rooted in profound wisdom and deep compassion. From Milarepa, whose karmic burden from a life marked by destructive actions weighed heavily, Marpa became not only a teacher, but a catalyst for redemption and enlightenment. His unorthodox approach, characterized by harsh trials and challenges, was designed to break down Milarepa's ego, purify his negative karma, and prepare him for the arduous tantric path. The trials Marpa imposed on Milarepa were not acts of cruelty, but deliberate and compassionate teachings aimed at dismantling the obstacles that blocked Milarepa's spiritual growth. Tibetan Buddhism emphasizes the guru's role as both a guide and a mirror, reflecting the disciple's inner struggles and illuminating the path forward. Marpa embodied this role perfectly, understanding that Milarepa's karmic burden required intense purification. His challenges were designed to exhaust the karmic imprints of Milarepa's past, allowing him to begin his spiritual journey free from the weight of his harmful actions. One of the most grueling tests Marpa subjected Milarepa to was the repeated construction and deconstruction of stone towers. These tasks, physically demanding and emotionally draining, served multiple purposes. They purified Milarepa's karma, transforming his labor into a form of penance for the suffering he had caused. At the same time, they cultivated the qualities of perseverance and devotion, both essential for the Tantric path. Through these seemingly endless tasks, Milarepa learned to endure hardship with patience and unwavering commitment, demonstrating his readiness to embrace the rigorous demands of spiritual practice. Beyond physical purification, Marpa's methods targeted Milarepa's attachment to his ego and sense of self. The cycle of building and dismantling towers became a symbolic lesson in the impermanence of worldly achievements and the futility of clinging to personal identity. Marpa's challenges forced Milarepa to confront the core Buddhist teaching that attachment to the self is by breaking Milarepa's attachment to his ego. Marpa prepared him to realize the deeper truths of the Dharma, enabling him to transcend the limitations of ordinary perception and embrace the boundless potential of enlightenment. Marpa's guidance also highlighted the profound trust and surrender required in the guru-disciple relationship, a cornerstone of Tibetan Buddhism. While Marpa's methods appeared harsh on the surface, they were driven by a deep compassion for Milarepa's potential and a clear vision of the liberation he could achieve. Marpa's actions demonstrated the paradox of compassionate severity. His apparent harshness was rooted in his ultimate goal of helping Milarepa overcome his karmic obstacles and achieve spiritual freedom. This dynamic underscores the transformative power of the guru's role in shaping the disciple's spiritual journey, illustrating that true growth often emerges from confronting life's most difficult challenges. Through these intense trials, Marpa employed the Buddhist principle of skillful means, or upaya, tailoring his teachings to Milarepa's unique karmic circumstances. His approach was not rooted in conventional instruction, but in direct experience, allowing Milarepa to internalize the lessons on a profound level. This experiential method ensured that Milarepa's transformation was not merely intellectual, but deeply embodied, paving the way for his eventual mastery of Tantric practices and realization of enlightenment. Marpa's role in Milarepa's life ultimately illustrates the transformative potential of the guru-disciple relationship. Despite the severity of Marpa's methods, Milarepa's unwavering faith and dedication to his teacher enabled him to emerge as one of Tibet's most revered yogis and spiritual poets. The relationship between Marpa and Milarepa serves as a timeless example of how compassion, even when veiled in severity, can lead to profound spiritual growth. It reminds us that the path to enlightenment often requires immense effort, trust, and a willingness to confront and transcend one's deepest fears and attachments. Marpa's guidance not only redeemed Milarepa's past, but also shaped his legacy as a beacon of hope and inspiration for countless practitioners seeking liberation. The path to enlightenment, purification, and meditation. Milarepa's journey toward enlightenment stands as one of the most profound and inspiring tales in Tibetan Buddhism, embodying the transformative power of dedication, meditation, and spiritual insight. After enduring years of grueling trials under the guidance of his teacher, Marpa, Milarepa demonstrated unwavering commitment to his spiritual path. This devotion earned him the right to receive tantric teachings and initiations, including profound meditative practices such as Mahamudra, known as the Great Seal. This advanced system of meditation cultivates direct insight into the nature of reality, aiming to reveal the mind's true essence and the ultimate truth of existence. Following his initiations, Milarepa retreated into the solitude of the Himalayan mountains, a monumental step symbolizing his complete renunciation of worldly distractions. In the isolation of remote caves, he immersed himself in years of rigorous meditation. Enduring harsh environmental conditions, physical deprivation, and profound solitude, Milarepa pushed the limits of human endurance. His meditative discipline was more than a test of resilience. It was a transformative process that purified his karmic imprints, cultivated spiritual insight, and prepared him for enlightenment. Central to Milarepa's transformation was the purification of his negative karma, accumulated through past misdeeds such as his use of black magic and acts of vengeance. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that purification is essential for breaking free from samsara, the cyclical existence of suffering driven by karma. Through the physical trials imposed by Marpa and his own relentless meditation practice, Milarepa purified the karmic burdens of his past, turning his suffering into a source of spiritual growth. This process exemplifies the Buddhist principle that no matter how heavy one's karmic load, redemption is always possible through sincere effort and practice. Yes. Milarepa's meditative practices also led him to realize the nature of emptiness, or shunyata, one of the central truths of Buddhist philosophy. Emptiness is the understanding that all phenomena lack inherent existence, arising instead through interdependent causes and conditions. This realization is not merely an intellectual understanding, but a profound experience that liberates the mind from dualistic tendencies such as clinging and aversion. For Milarepa, this insight dismantled the illusions that bound him to suffering, freeing him to see reality as it truly is. The realization of emptiness became the foundation of his enlightenment, allowing him to transcend the cycles of birth and death. However, Milarepa's enlightenment was not an end in itself. His awakening was deeply intertwined with bodhicitta, the altruistic intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. His transformation was not solely for personal liberation, but a profound commitment to the welfare of others. Milarepa's meditative insights and spiritual songs, composed during his retreats, became a source of guidance and inspiration for countless practitioners. These teachings reflected his boundless compassion and his determination to share the Dharma with those who sought freedom from suffering. By dedicating his life to helping others, Milarepa embodied the Mahayana ideal of the Bodhisattva, whose enlightenment is inseparable from the collective awakening of all beings. Milarepa's journey from a life of guilt and suffering to one of enlightenment and compassion remains a timeless example of the transformative power of Buddhist practice. His story demonstrates the potential for redemption and liberation, even in the face of immense karmic obstacles. Through his unwavering dedication to purification, meditation, and service to others, Milarepa transformed himself into one of Tibet's most revered spiritual figures. His life continues to inspire practitioners worldwide, reminding us that with effort, humility, and compassion, enlightenment is within reach for all beings. Milarepa as a yogi and poet, inspiring future generations. Milarepa's legacy as a yogi and poet continues to inspire countless generations, transcending his own enlightenment to become a beacon of hope and spiritual possibility. His life story, marked by profound transformation, serves as a testament to the idea that even those burdened by a troubled past can achieve the loftiest spiritual goals. Beyond his personal journey, Milarepa's contributions to Tibetan Buddhism endure through his poetic expressions. Encapsulated in the revered collection known as the 100,000 Songs of Milarepa, these songs, rich in spiritual wisdom and lyrical beauty, reflect the depth of his enlightenment and provide practical guidance to practitioners on the path. Milarepa's songs are not merely artistic expressions, but profound vehicles for transmitting the Dharma. Rooted in the oral tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, these poetic teachings convey complex spiritual insights in a manner that is both accessible and deeply resonant. Their rhythmic and melodic nature makes them memorable, enabling the teachings to be shared widely among communities, including those with limited formal education, this accessibility ensures that Milarepa's wisdom reaches people from all walks of life, reinforcing the universality of the Buddhist path. Central to Milarepa's songs is the emphasis on experiential wisdom, a cornerstone of Tibetan Buddhism. Rather than relying solely on intellectual understanding, his teachings encourage direct experience and realization of the nature of mind and reality. Through vivid imagery and metaphors drawn from the natural world, Milarepa's songs illustrate profound concepts such as impermanence, emptiness, and interdependence. For instance, he often used mountains, rivers, and the sky to symbolize the mind's vastness and clarity, inviting practitioners to see the natural world as a reflection of their inner potential. The inspirational quality of Milarepa's songs lies in their ability to address the challenges faced by practitioners on the spiritual path. His own life, filled with hardship and transformation, serves as the foundation for his teachings, making them relatable and deeply motivating. Through his verses, Milarepa encourages perseverance in the face of difficulties, reminding practitioners that obstacles are an inherent part of the journey toward enlightenment. His words convey an unwavering belief in the transformative power of the Dharma, assuring listeners that sincere effort can overcome even the most profound karmic burdens. Milarepa's poetic expressions also celebrate the beauty of the natural world. portraying it as an integral part of spiritual practice. His years spent meditating in the solitude of the Himalayan mountains profoundly shaped his perspective, allowing him to see the environment not merely as a backdrop for practice, but as a teacher and mirror of the mind's clarity. In his songs, he describes the majesty of snow-capped peaks, the serenity of flowing rivers, and the boundlessness of the open sky, drawing parallels between these natural elements and the qualities of an awakened mind. This celebration of nature imbues his teachings with a sense of wonder and reverence, inspiring practitioners to approach their surroundings with mindfulness and gratitude. Milarepa's dual role as a yogi and poet embodies the holistic nature of Tibetan Buddhism, where spiritual insight and artistic expression converge. His songs bridge the gap between profound philosophical concepts and the lived experiences of practitioners, making the teachings tangible and deeply personal. By weaving his realizations into poetic form, Milarepa ensures that his wisdom remains alive, dynamic, and relevant, transcending time and cultural boundaries. The enduring influence of Milarepa's 100,000 songs is evident in the way they continue to inspire both lay people and monastics. For practitioners, his teachings offer not only practical guidance but also a sense of connection to a lineage of profound realization. For scholars and artists, his works represent a pinnacle of spiritual and literary achievement, blending doctrinal depth with artistic brilliance. Milarepa's legacy as a yogi and poet highlights the transformative power of devotion, perseverance, and creative expression on the spiritual path. His life and teachings remind us that enlightenment is not a distant ideal, but a possibility accessible to all who approach the path with sincerity and determination. Through his songs, Milarepa continues to illuminate the way for seekers, offering wisdom, inspiration, and a profound sense of hope. Philosophical implications of Milarepa's transformation. The story of Milarepa's transformation is one of the most compelling narratives in Tibetan Buddhism, offering profound philosophical insights that resonate far beyond his personal journey. His life encapsulates essential Buddhist principles, illustrating how the teachings of the Dharma can manifest in the lived experiences of individuals. Or Milarepa's transformation from a life of suffering and wrongdoing to one of profound enlightenment serves as a timeless example of the potential for growth, redemption, and spiritual realization. Each phase of his life reflects key philosophical ideas that continue to inspire and guide practitioners on the path. At the heart of Milarepa's story lies the universality of suffering, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy. His early life, marked by betrayal, poverty, and despair, exemplifies how suffering arises from ignorance and attachment. These conditions, described in the Buddhist teachings as the root causes of samsara, drive individuals to perpetuate cycles of pain and dissatisfaction. Milarepa's resort to black magic in his youth underscores the destructive tendencies born from unskillful responses to suffering, yet his story also illustrates that suffering, when recognized and confronted with awareness, can become a catalyst for transformation. Milarepa's eventual recognition of the futility of his actions and his longing for redemption highlight the Buddhist teaching that suffering can ignite the desire for liberation. A central theme of Milarepa's life is the power of transformation. His journey demonstrates that even the most negative karma can be purified through sincere effort, humility, and guidance. Despite the immense harm he caused in his early life, Milarepa's unwavering commitment to atoning for his actions and pursuing enlightenment reveals the transformative potential inherent in every being. Tibetan Buddhism emphasizes that karma, though powerful, is not fixed or inescapable. Through dedicated practice and purification, individuals can transcend their past and reshape their spiritual trajectory. Milarepa's transformation is a vivid embodiment of this principle, offering hope to all who feel weighed down by their own karmic burdens. Milarepa's relationship with his teacher, Marpa, underscores the importance of devotion in the spiritual path. His unwavering faith in Marpa's guidance, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable trials, exemplifies the transformative power of devotion. In Tibetan Buddhism, the guru-disciple relationship is seen as a sacred bond, where the guru serves as both a guide and a source of blessings. Milarepa's complete surrender to Marpa's wisdom allowed him to overcome obstacles, purify his karma, and deepen his practice. This devotion was not blind faith, but a profound trust in the teachings and methods of his guru, enabling him to endure the challenges necessary for his spiritual growth. Milarepa's story highlights how devotion can serve as a bridge between the individual and the ultimate, helping practitioners navigate the complexities of the path with steadfastness and grace. Another profound philosophical implication of Milarepa's transformation is the interdependence of actions and outcomes, reflecting the Buddhist teaching of dependent origination. His life vividly illustrates the interconnected nature of actions, karma, and their results. The suffering he experienced and caused in his early life were not isolated events, but part of a complex web of causes and conditions. And similarly, his spiritual awakening was not a sudden or independent occurrence, but the result of years of disciplined practice, purification, and guidance. Milarepa's story underscores the idea that every action has consequences, and these consequences are interwoven with the actions of others and the fabric of existence itself. This understanding invites practitioners to cultivate mindfulness and intentionality in their actions, recognizing the far-reaching impact of their choices. You understand what I mean by that. When you see these videos, when you see these mantras and read this book, Milarepa's transformation also serves as a profound reminder of the potential for redemption and liberation inherent in all beings. His life demonstrates that no matter how dark one's past may be, the possibility for spiritual awakening remains within reach. The philosophical principles embodied in his journey, the universality of suffering, the power of transformation, the importance of devotion, and the interdependence of actions and outcomes offer a comprehensive framework for understanding the human condition and the path to liberation. Through his story, Milarepa continues to inspire practitioners to face their challenges with courage, humility, and determination, affirming the transformative power of the Dharma in overcoming the cycles of samsara and realizing the ultimate truth. Milarepa's relevance in contemporary practice. In an age characterized by rapid change, complexity, and the pursuit of comfort, Milarepa's life story resonates as a timeless beacon of transformation and spiritual possibility. His journey from despair and wrongdoing to enlightenment transcends cultural and historical boundaries, offering profound insights that remain deeply relevant to modern spiritual practice. Milarepa's teachings and example encourage contemporary practitioners to confront their inner struggles, embrace challenges, and dedicate their efforts to the benefit of others. One of the most significant lessons Milarepa imparts is the importance of self-honesty and courage in facing one's own flaws and limitations. His willingness to acknowledge his karmic burdens, accept responsibility for his past actions, and undertake the arduous process of purification reflects a level of self-awareness that is vital for spiritual growth. In today's world, where distractions and external validations often obscure self-reflection, Milarepa's example reminds practitioners of the value of looking inward with honesty and humility. His story inspires individuals to recognize their imperfections not as barriers, but as opportunities for transformation, illustrating that even the most troubled past can become the foundation for profound spiritual progress. Milarepa's relationship with his teacher, Marpa, underscores the enduring relevance of seeking guidance from qualified teachers. In contemporary spiritual practice, where access to a multitude of teachings and paths is easier than ever, his story emphasizes the importance of discerning guidance from authentic sources. However, Milarepa's life also highlights the balance between reliance on a teacher and cultivating personal effort. While he trusted Marpa's wisdom completely, it was Milarepa's own determination and perseverance that ultimately led to his enlightenment. This duality of seeking external guidance while maintaining self-reliance is a crucial aspect of modern spiritual journeys, where individuals must integrate teachings into their unique circumstances and inner work. A central element of Milarepa's teachings is the dedication of spiritual progress to the welfare of others, an embodiment of compassion and altruism that lies at the heart of Mahayana Buddhism. In an era often marked by individualism and self-centered pursuits, Milarepa's unwavering commitment to bodhicitta, the altruistic intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings, serves as a powerful reminder of the interconnected nature of existence. So, this example encourages practitioners to view their spiritual growth not as an isolated endeavor, but as a contribution to the collective awakening of humanity. By dedicating their efforts to the greater good, practitioners can cultivate a sense of purpose and connection, transcending the limitations of ego-driven goals. Milarepa's life also invites reflection on the relationship between hardship and growth, a concept that is particularly poignant in modern times. In a culture that often prioritizes comfort and seeks to avoid discomfort, his story challenges contemporary attitudes toward adversity. Milarepa's journey was one of immense difficulty, marked by physical trials, solitude, and relentless meditation. Yet these hardships became the crucible for his transformation, allowing him to purify his karma, deepen his understanding, and ultimately achieve enlightenment. His example highlights the transformative potential of embracing challenges rather than avoiding them. For modern practitioners, this perspective encourages a shift in mindset, viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth and development rather than as setbacks. Furthermore, Milarepa's poetic teachings, which are infused with profound spiritual wisdom and vivid imagery, remain accessible and inspiring even in today's world. His songs convey timeless truths in a form that transcends cultural and linguistic barriers, making his insights relatable to practitioners across different traditions and backgrounds. Now, the universal themes of his teachings, impermanence, interdependence, and the clarity of the mind, resonate with contemporary audiences seeking meaning and purpose amidst the complexities of modern life. Milarepa's relevance in contemporary practice lies in his ability to bridge the timeless principles of Buddhist philosophy with the realities of human experience. His life serves as a reminder that transformation is always possible, regardless of one's starting point, and that spiritual growth requires both inner courage and external dedication. By embracing his teachings, modern practitioners are encouraged to confront their challenges with resilience, seek guidance with discernment, and dedicate their efforts to the welfare of others, embodying the values of compassion, perseverance, and interconnectedness. Milarepa's legacy continues to inspire, reminding us that the path to enlightenment is not distant or unattainable, but rooted in the choices we make and the challenges we embrace every day. Conclusion: Milarepa's extraordinary journey from a life of darkness as a sorcerer to the radiant light of sainthood is far more than an inspiring tale from history. It is a living testament to the transformative power of the human spirit. His story resonates across time and cultures, reminding us that no matter how deeply entrenched we may be in ignorance or despair, the possibility for redemption and enlightenment remains within reach for everyone. Milarepa's life is a beacon of hope, illuminating the timeless truths of Tibetan Buddhism and showing us that with sincerity, effort, and guidance, profound transformation is possible. At the core of Milarepa's transformation lies the profound bond between teacher and student, a cornerstone of Tibetan Buddhist practice. Under the stern yet compassionate guidance of Marpa, Milarepa endured immense trials that purified his negative karma and prepared him for the path to liberation. This relationship highlights the transformative power of a genuine spiritual guide, one who challenges, nurtures, and empowers the disciple to break free from samsara's cycles of suffering. For modern practitioners, this is a reminder that true growth often requires humility, trust, and the willingness to confront one's deepest fears and attachments. Milarepa's journey also embodies the essence of Tibetan Buddhism, a path rooted in profound wisdom, boundless compassion, and unwavering commitment to awakening. Through years of solitary meditation in the Himalayan caves, he demonstrated the power of inner discipline and the ability to overcome not only external obstacles, but also the internal barriers of ego and ignorance. His ultimate realization of the mind's true nature serves as a powerful reminder that enlightenment is not an abstract ideal, but an attainable reality for those who dedicate themselves to the path. His teachings, preserved in the poetic 100,000 Songs of Milarepa, continue to inspire and guide seekers worldwide. These songs are not mere verses, they are living teachings offering practical wisdom and profound insights into the nature of reality. Milarepa's ability to convey complex spiritual truths through simple, heartfelt expressions ensures that his legacy remains accessible to all, from seasoned practitioners to those just beginning their spiritual journeys. And today's guest is a professor at Meaden College. He shares that as life and teachings urge us to persevere in the face of challenges, embrace compassion as our guiding principle, and dedicate our efforts to the welfare of all beings. Now more than ever, Milarepa's story holds relevance. In a world often dominated by distractions, materialism, and a fear of discomfort, his life reminds us of the transformative potential of embracing challenges and turning inward for wisdom and strength. His journey calls us to look beyond superficial comforts and connect with the deeper truths of existence, cultivating a life of purpose, resilience, and compassion. If you've been inspired by Milarepa's story and feel the spark of possibility within yourself, we invite you to take action today. Subscribe to our channel to explore more profound teachings like these and join a community of seekers dedicated to wisdom and spiritual growth. Share this video with friends and family who might need a dose of inspiration and hope in their lives. Together, let's keep the flame of Milarepa's teachings alive, spreading his message of transformation, compassion, and enlightenment far and wide. Your journey begins now. Join us and let's walk this path toward awakening together.